Hey everybody, this is Ron with BridgeCom Systems. I am here live in Smithville, Missouri. It's St. Patrick's Day, so I want to wish you all a happy St. Patrick's Day. I've got my green on, I'm ready to go. Anyway, we're going to do a deep dive here on how to program your brand new Anytone DMR radio to hit a local repeater. We've got a lot of new folks coming into our world, and we're wanting to help you guys be successful. And so we do a lot of these live streams, but I want to do another one where we show you guys how to talk on a local repeater, which is pretty important. I know there's hotspots and all these different things that are going on in the DMR world, but if you're brand spanking new to DMR, this video or this live stream is for you. It will be recorded, and we will make this content available for you to look at afterwards. We did one of these a while back, and it got a lot of views, so people definitely are needing this content. So if you're new to DMR, and you're new to Anytone, and you're new to BridgeCom Systems, then this video and this live stream is for you. So anyway, real quick, I want to make you guys aware of something that we're doing. It's going to end on the 21st of this month, March 21st. We are doing what's called the 7.3 ham radio giveaway, and this one's a big one. And I've seen some stuff on the message boards. BridgeCom doesn't give away anything, and all this all just no, we do give these products away. In fact, you can go to our website, and we actually show you the previous winners of all the stuff that we've given away. As you guys, you guys may go to Hamfest, and one of the things that keeps everybody, excited about being at Hamfest is the drawings. I mean, I've been to a lot of Hamfests, and of course the raffles and things like that get everybody excited and stuff. And so we, because of all the the fact that we can't go to Hamfest right now. I know they're ticking back up, but we've been doing these giveaways for a while, and so in the spirit of that, we're doing this giveaway. It's called the 7.3 giveaway. We're giving away a 578 3 Pro, a Duracom power supply to go with that, an 18 amp power supply, by the way, an Anytone tri-band antenna for your that will work with your 578. Then we've given away the 578 UV Plus, subscriptions for all three radios. That would be the 578, the 878, and of course the I think the hotspots there. But the BridgeCom University, we're giving away a G90 HF rig. That's going to be really cool for whoever gets that. So if you're not into HF, that would be a really neat thing to have. So all the fixings for a G90, which include not only the transceiver, but the antenna, the cooling bracket, BCA 300 dual band mag mount antenna. Tanner should put up, yeah, you got the link up there already, great. And then BCS 200 water speaker mic, water resistant speaker mic, and battery and belt clip, all valued at, and then we're going to ship it to you, by the way. $1,968.11 is the value on that, and we encourage you to enter. It's available to those that have an amateur radio call sign. So if you don't have a ham radio license, you need to get one, and that is the first step of this journey that we're going to talk to you guys about. So let's jump in. We are going to go through the process of step by step on how to take your brand new Anytone radio, your DMR radio, out of the box and get it to talk on a local repeater. So let's get started. Okay, so you just got your radio and you want to get on the air as quick as possible. One way is to find and connect with a local DMR repeater. And by the way, I'm going through these show notes. Hopefully you got a link there in your platform to get these. Tanner, who's managing the chat, post those up for me. And what you can do is walk through these, and then again, of course, this recording will be made, and you can then go through the live stream later, if you'd like, and do the steps. But I am going to go step by step into this process of taking a radio out of the box. I've already got it out of the box, by the way, and I'm going to show you how to connect it to a DMR repeater. So one of the things, the first step that you need to do that hopefully all of you have done is you need a ham radio license to play in this sandbox. If you've not gotten a license yet, I want to encourage you to do that. I know that ham radio, maybe it's seen its glory days. I would argue not. I think that it's an ongoing journey for everybody. I realize there's not, the population of folks that are doing ham radio is, it's kind of stabilized in the United States. I see that it's about 800,000 licensed amateurs. I want to encourage you to do that. I was able to get my sons, I think they were like 14 and 15 at the time. I sent them to a class, and in 2 weeks they were able to get their technician licenses. And so I exposed them to all this. So I want you to, you know, that's the first step in this journey is get your ham radio license. And when you get your ham radio license, that opens up the door to all this other stuff, and one of them being DMR. DMR is a digital platform that is taking the amateur radio community by storm right now. It's a technology that's came out of the commercial space, and it's been adopted by us amateurs in the last 10 years. We've got DMR repeaters popping up all over the country, and in fact all over the world. You've got these hot spots that folks can actually put, you know, effectively a repeater in their back pocket. It's really helped it's just really opened up, you know, the ability to make contacts, which is what we're all wanting to do. We want to be successful. We want to meet other people in the community. You know, it's awesome to say your call sign over the air. And by the way, my call sign is Kilo Charlie Zero Quebec Victor Tango. I just got my amateur extra class last December. Before that, I got general in July, but I got my license back in 2003. So I camped on the technician class for, you know, 16, 17 years before I upgraded. I know, shame on me. But the technician class is all you need to do this. So the first step that you want to do after you get your amateur radio license is that you need a DMR ID. So I'm going to put that up here. You got to get a DMR ID. Now this is going to be your telephone number, okay? And you want to go to a website called radioid.net. Okay, this is a must. You cannot do anything further until they issue you an ID. And this, I don't know how many contacts have been issued. Like, it's getting close to a couple 100,000 now, but it wasn't long ago. It was you know, below 100,000. So you need to go to radioid.net, and without this DMR ID, you cannot communicate on all these networks. So I'm going to jump into the computer real quick, and I want to show you what's going on radioid.net. So I've got a link in the show notes, and if you want to follow along. So on step one here, we've got radioid.net, and I am going to go, oops, let's see, I want to go to that website. There we go. All right. Now, radioid.net is the database. This is the place where everybody goes to get their telephone number to work in DMR. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this database. I'm left-clicking over on the left side, and I'm going to go to this DMR user ID search. Okay. Now, down there at there's a sign in and registration, and that's where you want to go. So I'm going to go ahead and type in, well, I've already done it. I'm going to go down here to my call sign, KC0QVT, and I'm going to search. And from this, I'm going to extract my DMR ID. Now, I've probably got this committed to memory, but just for the sake of showing you, that's me at the bottom. My DMR ID is 312, there's some advertisements going on there. 312-9172. 9172. So that's me, Ron. And I am KC0QVT. Okay. And you're going to have your own DMR ID. And that's what you need to do. So let's just go back to home here real quick. And there should be a registration. Let's see, continue. Okay. Login, sign up. You want to go to that page, and that is where you want to create an account or get your DMR ID from that. So if you haven't done that, go do that, okay? But in the meantime, I'm going to continue on as if, you know, you've got your DMR ID, and now we're going to find a local repeater that we're going to want to talk on. Okay, so the next step is you're going to find a local repeater. And so I'm going to jump back over here to my notes, and the next best place, now this is, you know, there's probably other places, but you got your ham club that you can talk to, or some friends of yours, but the best place I've found to find a local DMR repeater is repeaterbook.com. Okay, so you want to use this website to search your area for a repeater that's on the air that's closest to you. So it gives you the best possible chance. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that too, and I'm going to take you to that website. It's a great resource. It seems, I mean, what I found is it's contributed the users contribute their credentials for the repeater, and then of course they update it. It's another database that these folks put on. The guy that runs this website's name's Gary. It's a really nice guy. Okay, so I'm in North America. I'm going to go over to the left side here, and this is going to allow for me to search North America repeaters. And then, of course, if you're outside the United States, you can look for all the world, simplex nodes. Even GMRS is available on here now, so that's really cool. So if you're into GMRS, which stands for General Mobile Radio Services, you can go find some GMRS repeaters, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to click on North American repeaters, and that should pull up a map of the United States. And you want to zero in on the state that you're currently in, and I'm in Missouri. And this is going to populate with Missouri amateur radio repeaters. Okay, and we've got all the listings by city and town, and you can take that approach. And you've got repeaters recommended for use by nearby highways, so that's a real good resource. You've got emergency service repeaters. They've really segmented out all these repeaters based on what their purpose is. Now, the area that we want to focus in is the features. Okay, now they've segmented out these repeaters based on their functionality. You've got DMR repeaters, D-Star repeaters, Echolink, Fusion, P25, NXDN, All-Star, wires. Okay, we want to go to DMR. So we're going to find all the DMR repeaters in Missouri. I guess I got an ad come up on me. Whoops. I hope that doesn't go off there. Okay. All right. So these are all the DMR repeaters, and you'll know they're DMR repeaters because you can see over on the left side here, you're going to see you'll see the CC and a number associated with it, and that stands for color code. Okay. So we are going to look through this list, okay, and this is what's going on. Now, I'm in Clay County, Missouri, and I see this repeater right here, and the adjacent county is Platte County, okay. I want to go ahead, I'm going to try this repeater right here, Kansas City KCI Airport in Platte County. It says it's open, and it says it's a DMR. And then you're going to see this thing over here that says Brandmeister, or BM. Okay, we're going to dig into that here in a minute. Okay, so let's just go ahead and click on this link here real quick. And this is going to pull up the credentials for this repeater. Okay, and of course, referencing your notes, there's some key metrics that you need to pay attention to. And the two key metrics, of course, is the transmit and receive frequency of the repeater. In this case, the downlink is 444.4625. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put on our board here, find a repeater, because that's what we're after. We're wanting to find a repeater. And that's going to obviously be local to where you are. Okay, so we want transmit frequency, we want the receive frequency. The third credential is we want the color code, stands for CC. We want the time slot, okay, time slot. All right, now I'm not going to get too detailed in that, but DMR allows for two conversations to happen on one frequency pair. And they call it time slot 1 and time slot 2. Now, both of these conversations can happen at the same time. And you don't even know it. It's all happening so fast that you don't even see it. So just keep in mind, so there's two conversations that can happen. You got time slot 1 and time slot 2. And it's important to know this because, as you'll see here, the system operators of these various repeaters are wanting you to be on a specific time slot for your specific purpose. And we're going to see that here. We can see that this DMR ID of this repeater is 31932. We don't really need to know about that at this point, but the color code, which is important, is 4. So we're going to look at color code 4 for this repeater, and I just remembered I got to put the frequencies here. So the downlink is 444.4625, okay, and so that repeater is going to transmit on 444. Wait, is that right? Yeah, 444.4625. 4625. And it's going to receive on 449.4625. Okay? Now, the reason why I kind of got confused is because you have to flip these for your radio. And of course, in my experience, I've never really talked about downlink and uplink. I've always thought receive and transmit. So the repeater, their downlink is their transmit and uplink is their receive. And of course, the offset's 5 megahertz. It says DMR enabled. Okay, this talk group network, it states it's the backyard repeater group. Now, the backyard repeater group is just a group of guys that had put together a network of repeaters all over the Missouri, Kansas. I don't know if they're in Iowa, maybe Nebraska, but it's a network that has a specific talk group, and all these repeaters are assigned to one specific talk group. So we want to definitely be mindful of their wishes. And again, these repeaters are private property. They're not just, oh, I can use them whenever, they're open to us as amateurs, but, we definitely want to respect the wishes of the operators and talk on the appropriate time slots that they ask for. So you can see down here in the notes, it says use time slot 1 for all other Brandmeister talk groups, CBYRG website for talk group assignments, okay? Now, there's a thing here called talk groups when I can look at this open talk group view, okay? It says local cluster talk group 2, 9, KC Aries, there's some Skywarn, BYRG, time slot 2, 31.2, it's full time, okay? But we're going to comply with that, and we want to be on time slot 1, okay? So I'm going to circle that here with red because we don't want to be on anything but time slot 1 because we don't want to mess up anybody else's business. Okay, so time slot 1. So there's one more item that needs to be inspected because one of the things that's happening in this DMR world is that there's a lot of these networks, but we're going to look at Brandmeister, okay, because that's what this repeater is connected to, okay, and Brandmeister is a huge network. It's probably one of the, it was one of the early days it came out. It probably is the second network that kind of came on the scene after what was called DMR Mark. But these folks have put servers up all over the world. They'll get these guys that want to put up a server. In fact, in the United States, I believe there's 3 servers. They call them 3101, 3102, and I think 3103. And they're set up and they're administered by the Brandmeister folks. So we can see right here that the affiliate is the Brandmeister network. So we're going to concentrate on that. And just as a side note, as I stated, there's DMR Mark, or what might become called IP Site Connect, or 2. There's a bunch of servers that have come about that are other networks that you can get on. There's also the TGIF network, DMR Plus. But anyway, we're going to focus on Brandmeister because that's one of the popular ones, and it's probably where you're going to have a higher probability of connecting with your local repeater. So, once you get your DMR ID, you want to set up a self-care account on Brandmeister. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my notes here, and I am going to go to this website called Brandmeister Network. Okay, and I'm going to show you that. Now, this is the network page, their website, that talk about all the stuff that's going on this network. It's a nice resource. You can see that, like right now at this moment, there's 5,084 repeaters, 16,892 hotspots. There's 180 voice calls taking place, 44 masters. That's like what I was saying earlier. They have numbers like 3101, 3102, 3103. And you can see that this is a well attended to, highly, I mean, these guys are good, okay? That these guys that are making this information available to you really are passionate about this product, and it's really cool to feature these guys. You got to give, I mean, they probably get a lot of grief, but they're doing a lot of work, and I'm really happy to to get behind these guys and just them show them. I know there's a lot of other networks, and they're rock stars just as well, but they're really helping the amateur radio community. So what you want to do after you get your DMR ID is it's a good idea to go over here and get you a self-care account or register. So you want to register with Brandmeister. Let them know you're around. This is eventually if you go into get a hotspot and then want to play around even further. But this is the next step in the journey. So go in there and mark that on your list for stuff to do, is to get a register on their platform. Okay, again, comply with the wishes of the system operator of the station and talk on the appropriate time slot. Effectively be a good neighbor. That's what we've learned at Part 97 is it's about being a good ham. Okay, so now that we've identified the repeater we want to hit, the next step is to program the radio. Okay, but before we do that, well, no, I'll take that. Let's go ahead and start programming the radio. Let's get the radio set up. Okay, so item number 3 says install the CPS on your Windows machine and make sure the radio and the firmware are in agreement. Okay, I've already installed the CPS on this machine. I didn't want to take a lot of time to do that. It is a pretty quick and painless process. You just go to our website, our support page. We have all the versions of the Anytone 878, 868, and 578 CPSs. So I want you to do that. But anyway, before we get started, let me go ahead and get this radio back to a known state of out of the box, okay? Now, I've been using this radio for several live streams in the past, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make it brand new. So, and this is a tactic you can use. If, let's say you get down the road and things just go haywire, your radio, something's not right, everything's screwed up, I don't know what happened, and it's all just gone bonkers on me. What you can do is initialize the radio. And what this will do is it'll restore the radio to factory defaults. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. It's kind of a little bit of bonus content here in the live stream. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn the radio off, okay? I'm going to press and hold the PTT button, and then I'm going to press and hold the other button, which is called, it's a side button. It's the one right below PTT, and I'm going to turn it on and hold it. It says, okay, now this is what you want. Are you sure you want to initialize the radio? Okay, so I'm basically going to just clean the slate here, and I'm going to hit confirm, and now it's going through this initialization process and wiping out all that work we did. Now, by the way, before I did that, I did go back and save my profile. I did pull that out so that I didn't lose all that work. Okay, so it's got this calibrate date. I'm going to just hit confirm. Okay, and this is what you'll see when you turn your radio on for the first time. So I'm going to hit confirm. Okay, and it's going to come up with this little splash screen. It says welcome Anytone. And it's going through its boot up sequence. Okay, got that. So this is the radio in its virgin state, as if it's never been programmed before. And of course the display darkens after about 5 seconds. I don't like that. I'll fix that here in a second, but we'll learn on customizing the radio as we roll down the road here. Okay, so one of the things that we want to do right away is we want to go in and we want to find out the version of firmware that's in your radio. So you want to go to settings, then you want to go down here to device info. Okay, this radio ID is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My radio, it's an 878 UV, 420 to 450. Okay, version of firmware is 1.21. Okay. So that's what I need. I need that for 1.21. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect my programming cable to the radio. And again, this is connected to my USB hub here. I'm going to insert that and make sure it's really snug. You want to definitely, apply some pressure, because sometimes, it's like, oh, it doesn't work, and, might be you just didn't plug it in. All right. Are we in focus? Somebody says we're not in focus. So, okay, so I'm going to go over here into the computer, and I've already installed 1.21 right there. You can see where my cursor is kind of moving around just to kind of get that focus. Okay, so I'm going to right click on the program, and I'm going to run as an administrator. Okay, now I highly recommend you run all these CPSs in your Windows platform at the administrator level, and for whatever reason it makes Windows like everything a lot better, and it reduces the chances of some issues. Okay, so you want to allow this app to from an unknown publisher? Yes. And by the way, I'm using a a Cambio, I believe it's a Cambio tablet computer running Windows 10. I picked this up off Amazon. I don't know if it's available anymore. Okay, so okay, it looks like it's remembering some previous data from the previous live stream. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set the COM, make sure I'm good. Okay, I'm on COM 3. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read from my radio. Okay, so it did remember my previous store. Okay, that's a feature of the CPS. So I'm going to override all that. Save file, okay. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to read from the radio here. Okay, there it's reading. Okay, so it's reading how the radio comes out of the box, and there it is right there. All right, so we, out of the box, are on all these different frequencies, okay? And we don't want those. So I'm just going to quickly go through and I'm going to delete all these. So I'm going to click delete. You can use your hotkey. Just clean the slate, okay, because we don't want any of them. Okay, so on item 4, we identified the COM port being read. That's your, okay, and we read from the radio. We saw our default profile. I deleted all that. So that ends page 2. So we've already, number 5, we look up, you want to, before you start, you want to look up your DMR ID and program it into the radio. And of course, we did that right here, okay? All right, so I'm going to quickly just, we got item number 1, DMR ID. You found your repeater, which we know. And let me make, we want, we got 444.4625, 449.4625, and I'm going to clean the board here. And we got color code 4, we're on time slot 1, and we are on Brandmaster. So we're good to go. Those are the items that you need to be successful. So I'm going to delete, I'm going to erase. I've been deleting a lot of stuff. All right, so I'm going to erase that, and I'm going to give you a quick step-by-step deal on what you have to do here. And I'm going to draw it in somebody. So, okay, so you want to, first of all, you want to program, or you want to, let's get this right here. Put DMR ID in the radio. Okay, then you want to put in talk groups. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and write that out because some of you guys may not know what a talk group is. Okay, so we're going to talk about talk groups. And number 3, we're going to create channels. Number 4, we're going to create a zone. You got to create a zone. We'll find that out here. We're going to create a zone. And then we're going to put channels in a zone. And then we are going to write radio and test. Okay. So these are the steps that we're going to take. And I'm going to go through each one of these in detail here in the context of our step-by-step here. But that's what's going on. So I know what my DMR ID is, and I did not, I think it's 312. I have not committed that to memory. I should. So I'm going to just go back over here to radioid.net, and it's going to be my handy-dandy memorization tool. I know it's 312 something. Okay, so I'm going to remember that. That's one thing I didn't, oops. And one thing I will say, you know, as an encouragement to you all, 312-9172, is take your time. I know I might be, you know, speeding through this. I've done this a lot, but I want you guys to not despair. Take your time and walk through this process. You will be successful. You are going to get it done. It's not that hard. I know it might be new to a lot of you, you know, a lot of you guys. a lot of you guys, because you know you're coming in from an analog world. You've been talking on analog repeaters, you know, for the better part of your amateur radio career. Moving into DMR and talking on these digital repeaters is it's a whole new world, and it can be intimidating. But I think when we just take a step-by-step approach, you work with a mentor, an Elmer or whatever, and that's what I'm trying to do for you guys right now. You can do this, and you will, and we will demonstrate talking on a repeater today. And anyway, I'm going to get back into it here. So I had to get my DMR ID, 312-9172. Okay, now let's jump back into the computer here. And where you do that, where you put the DMR ID, is you go over here on the left side and you press this button right here, and that causes this node to expand. Okay, and you're going to see radio ID list. Okay, this is where you want to put your DMR ID. You can see where it said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that's what we saw when we turned it on up there. So we're going to left double click on that, and we're going to put in 312-9172. That's my telephone number in the DMR world. So I'm going to call this, I'll just call it my name, KC0, and my call sign, KC0, QVT, Ron. Whoops, Ron. That's me. Okay, so that's all you got to do. Okay, so put radio ID, let's check that. Let's go blue here. We did that, check box. All right, okay. So now let's jump down here to the talk groups. Okay, now let's talk about talk groups. Talk groups are basically places where people can go and if everybody's on the same talk group number, you're in that club and you can talk to all people that are listening on that talk group. So it's just what it is, a group. It's a group of people gathering in one place, liken it to gathering in one place, and everybody that has assigned that particular talk group to their radio and is monitoring it, they will hear what you have to say because you're all in agreement. You're all talking in the same room. It's like, if I have a guy right here and I'm talking to him, we're in the same talk group. And then of course another person can join, and anybody that's in that group will listen to it. It's like, like right now we have a group. We're talking through Facebook and YouTube, and we have a group here. So we're likening that to a talk group. So there's these numbers assigned to those groups. So what you're doing is effectively applying a number to a group of folks. And then of course there's an alpha tag, if you will, associated with those groups. So you've got groups for all kinds of different reasons for folks to gather. You have groups for each state. You have groups for countries. You have group numbers and names assigned to interests. For example, there could be, I've seen several interest groups. But I'll tell you what, let me do this. Let me show you real quick. Let's jump out here and I'll just take you into that so you can see into computer here. I put this link in here in your notes so that you can actually see all the groups that you have available to you. So down on the second page here, whoops, went too far. Okay, Brandmeister has a bunch of talk groups in its network. Okay, each network has a bunch of talk groups associated with it, and they're all predetermined. So we're going to click on, there's a website right here, and this website is going to show you all the talk groups, the names and the numbers for Brandmeister. Now it says here there's 1,613 available talk groups, and that's actually grown. I think the last time I looked at this, it was around 1,500 and change. Okay, so they're adding more talk groups. Okay, and you can see here there's a talk group number and a name associated with themselves. Okay, so you've got local, regional, worldwide, North America. We're going to actually tune into North America. You got all the various countries. There's a countrywide talk groups. You've got these TAC channels. TAC stands for Talk Around Channel. You've got, cities. Hong Kong's a city in China. They have their own talk group. So anyway, yeah, camp in here for a place that you might want to check out. You've got various regions. I don't know what those are about. Districts. Not sure what those are. But anyway, this is how big the sandbox is. You've got some folks in Denmark. Regional SM01. Have no idea what that is. FIAOH1. I mean, there's a lot of, I don't know, talk groups for specific purposes out there. So we're going to go down here in the United States. That's where these guys camp out right here. You've got every state in the United States has a talk group, like Alabama 3101, Alaska 3102, and Missouri 3129. Okay, so going back to our notes, we want to set up the talk groups, and the two essential talk groups that you're going to want in your radio is a talk group disconnect and a parrot. Okay, you want those in your listing of channels for the repeater you're going to talk on. Okay, now these talk groups, you can assign them to a bunch of different channels, but we're going to set these up in a list. And basically what we're going to do here, and you'll hear this as you journey with, in this space, you're going to hear the term code plug. Okay, basically what we're going to do, or what we're doing right now, is we are making our own code plug from scratch. You'll hear, and I don't even, the term code plug, it came out of, it's from the good old days. Something to do with, oh heck, somebody told me one time. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. Keep in mind, it's called a code plug. You hear people talk about that. Basically, it's the profile we're going to create. And you'll see that there's going to be already predetermined code plugs from that other people have created, and you can plop those in your radio. But basically, we're going to roll our own code plug. All right. So again, the two essentials is the talk group disconnect and the parrot. And then, of course, if you look down even further, I said we're going to try to make a QSO on Missouri statewide and North America. And you can see here that the Missouri statewide, as I showed you earlier, is talk group 3129, and North America is 93. Okay, so we're going to put 4 talk groups in this radio, or this code plug. Okay, so I'm going to Alt-Tab over here, and I'm going to pull up my CPS again. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to go over here where that said radio ID list. We're going to go down where it says contact talk groups. Now they don't spell contact right, but that's okay. We know what they mean. All right, so this is the talk, or the contacts for our talk groups, and we're going to create 4 of these talk groups. So they've got one in here by default, and I'm going to left double click on that, and it's going to pull up this list of these where you put your credentials. So we want talk group disconnect. So I'm going to type in TG, I'll just type in DISC for disconnect. It is a group call, and it is 4,000. Okay, and I'll just Alt-Tab over here real quick, and you can see if I scroll down here, 4,000 says disconnect. Okay, now let me really quick tell you what you need. A disconnect helps you. Just reading. I do see your comments, folks, and I'm gonna get into that. Okay, I'll answer your questions the best I can once I get done with this. Okay, but a disconnect is important because what it allows for you to do after you have your exchange, your conversation with somebody, it allows for you to tell the repeater that I'm done, and it will disconnect that talk group from the repeater. Because when you engage that repeater on a specific talk group, it tells the repeater resource, I'm going to dedicate your time slot for a specific block of time to routing traffic from that talk group, to your needs. So the talk group disconnect is essential because after you have your QSO, you want to tell the station, like, I'm done, and it will then now go back to whatever it's doing. So now somebody else can use the resource as well, because it buys you a block of time every time you make a contact, or every time you hit the PTT button in exchange with your repeater. So talk group disconnect is really essential. And you'll also note here it's a group call. Now, why it's a group call? It's because you're telling the repeater that, and all parties involved, the repeater's like, I'm shutting down. Now, there's 2 types of calls. There's a group call and there's a private call. Most of the activity that we're going to do on our repeaters is all group calls. You rarely will use a private call. And the only private call that I've ever used is what we're going to talk about next, and that's the parrot. The parrot is a private call to your repeater. Now, I'm aware that there's other talk group numbers that allow for you to do a private call as a group call, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Just keep in mind, a parrot is a private call. So let's go ahead and store this here real quick. Talk group disconnect, group call, talk group ID, DMR ID, or it's the number is 4000. Okay, so let's do another one. This is what, let's do the parrot. So I'm going to call it parrot. Okay, and it is a private call. Okay, you can see that list. It's got private call, and all call. It's a private call, and it's $99.90. Okay, and I'll take you over here to the Brandmeister talk group list, and I'll go down to $99.90. Okay, okay, you got 9990 right there, parrot. Okay, now the parrot is a must. Okay, I'm going to store this. Okay, private call. A parrot is a must. I highly recommend putting a parrot in, or the parrot talk group on all the different repeaters you want to talk on, because it's instant feedback to know that everything I do work. Okay, without the parrot, you just, hey, you do your proper QSO announcements, you announce your call sign, and you're trying to wait on somebody to respond to you. The parrot is a way to say, I know that repeater heard me, it came back, I can get into it. Okay, so before you can really have a good time with all this, it's good to know that you're getting into the repeater hears you, you hear the repeater, and all's well. And the parrot is an awesome way to test that functionality. Okay, so you need the parrot. Now, the next two talk groups that we're going to try and make a contact with, and that's what it's all about, is the Missouri statewide and North America. Now, again, we can go back in that list. You can do what I'm about to do with anything. Like if you're in California, try the California statewide if you want. But in this case, I'm just going to focus on these two talk groups. North America, it's a big talk group. It's all basically everybody in the United States, or actually North America, well, and Canada. So I will start off with Missouri. So I'm going to type in Missouri. Okay, and that's a group call, and its DMR ID is, or its talk group ID is 3129. Done. All right, let's do North America. So let's do North America. And again, these are alpha tags for these, for a number. And that's a group call, and it is 93. And we learned that from that list. All right, so talk groups. Put in the talk group. Okay, so we're doing that now. All right, we got that one done. We've created our talk groups. Now, and that can get huge. You can make that as many talk groups as you want. In fact, you can go out and get some pre-done list of all these talk groups and import them into your radio. But we're not going to go there right now because we want to learn the basics. We are learning how to make a code plug. Okay, so I've got 4 talk groups in my radio. All right. So now the next step is we want to create channels, okay, for this repeater. So one of the things, and let me just share with you, this is what, okay, got all this, let's see, that digital contact list, we don't have those yet, okay, and we're not going to fool with that. But we're going to go up here to channels, okay, and this is where it gets interesting. Okay, so I left-clicked on number 1, and I now have all of this stuff to look at. All right, so this is where all of that information, those key metrics where we have our frequency, time slot, and our contact done. Okay, so the first channel, we're gonna make channels for every one of those talk groups. So let's go ahead and do the disconnect. So I'm going to call, okay, this is where you want to assign an appropriate alpha tag. We know we're going to talk on this KCI repeater, and we know we're going to talk on the disconnect. So I'm going to create a channel, I'm going to call it KCI disconnect, D-I-S-C, okay? And I know that the receive frequency of my radio is going to be the transmit frequency of the repeater. Okay, so the repeater is transmitting on 444.4625, and tab down, and it's going to, my radio is going to transmit on the repeater's receive frequency of 449.4625. That's very important, okay? You can get those backwards, it can be confusing, but you want to always in your radio, you always flip-flop what the repeaters, you transmit on one, the repeater receives on that same frequency, so they're backwards, and you just need to keep that in mind, okay? The current channel type is a digital channel. We'll leave the power at high, the bandwidth's 12.5. This TX permit always, I've set mine up to always. You can do channel free. Channel free means if the channel's free, if there's nobody talking on it, it will then allow for you. Otherwise, it'll give you a bonk and won't let you do. But let's just, for the sake of doing this code plug, we'll make this always. Okay, another item here is the DMR mode. This is going to be repeater. Okay, you want to make sure you check that. The contact, now this is where you're going to see the list of groups that we made. So I'm going to click on this just so you can see. Okay, so there's the contact list that we have available to us. That's what I just made. Okay, you can see over here the TG disconnect is 4000. It's a group call. If I go over here and I click on that left click, that opens up that. And now you can see the parrot, North America, group call. Okay, so we want the disconnect. So we're going to make that. Okay. Now, this is where we also look and see what the color code is. We know that these guys want color code 4. And this is really important. This is where a lot of, in my experience, this is where a lot of people have problems because it's all new to them. But if you don't get the color code right, no dice. You can't get in the repeater. So it's extremely important to match the color code with the channel you're creating. Color code 4 is what they want. And all these repeaters, the system operator has assigned a color code to that channel. And it's all arbitrary. There's no rhyme or reason to any of it. They say, hey, I want color code 4. Okay, everybody that gets on that repeater's got to use color code 4. And it's just like the PL tone that everybody knows about in analog FM repeaters that we're using for all the days that we're using repeaters. Sometimes a PL tone of 88.5, 107.2, 114.8. What's the reason behind all that? Well, there's some, but really it's an arbitrary selection. So color code 4 is what they want. Then the next section for this is time slot 1. That's where they want us. They want us on time slot 1 because that's where all the traffic that's not related to their other concerns goes. So we're already on time slot 1. And all this other stuff, encryption, multiple SMS, we don't care about any of that. Analog, we're not on analog, so that's it. That's all you have to do to make a channel for a DMR, okay? Now, I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to add more channels without having to rewrite the book. So we're going to do a copy, and we're going to do a paste. We're going to do another copy. We're going to do a paste. Whoops, did I lock? Oh, so let's paste here. Well, I wonder why I did. Okay, maybe there's a bug in that. Let's copy that again. There's a paste. Okay, and then can we paste it here again? Yep, okay. So we're going to go in, because I didn't want to have to type in all those frequencies every time. I want to just cut and paste, because I know I'm going to talk on the same repeater, but I'm just using 2 different talk grips. So that's a quick tip and save you some time. So we're going to go into this. And all we have to do is change the channel name, which is what we know as the alpha tag. So in this case, we're going to do the parrot. So I'm going to talk about KCI parrot. And that is the first one we're going to try and make contact with. Okay. So I'm going to change my group. I'm sorry, my contact. So now we're on the parrot. Still color code 4, time slot 1. All good. Everything's fine. High power, digital. Everything's the same. So all we want to do is change the alpha tag and the contact. Let's go in here and do this one. This one's going to be, let's go ahead and do Missouri. So this is going to be KCI. We'll talk at Missouri. Okay, and again, go over here to the contact, change it to Missouri. We know it's 3129. Real simple. Color code 4, time slot 1. Done. And then let's go ahead and quickly do North America. So we're going to talk KCI, and we'll just do NA for North America. And put that in here. Talk group 93. Color code 4, slot 1. All done. All right. Okay, so we have created our channels. Check. All right, now the next step is we want to create a zone. Got to have a zone. It's a must. No zone, no work. Okay, so up here you're going to see on public, channel, and zone. Okay, so we're going to go in here and create a zone. Okay, now we're going to call this the KCI zone, because that's the repeater that I'm talking on, and we are going to put the channels in the zone. You have to put your channels in a zone or this will not work. So I just moved all those into a zone. You got to do that. That's a real simple step. So that's step 9. Got that done. Okay. We created the zone. That was easy. And we just put the channels in the zone. And that's easy. So now we want to write to the radio and we want to test it. So this is where we find out if I know what I'm talking about. Okay. So let's write to the radio. We got a zone. Let's go by way of review. We put the DMR ID in the radio so everybody knows who I am. We added some talk groups, 4 of them. We created 4 channels. We created 1 zone. We put the channels in the zone, and now we're going to write the radio. Okay, so we're going to go over here to program. We're going to go write to radio. Okay. Write data to radio. Do you wish to continue? Yes. Okay. Digital contact list, don't want to fool with that right now. That's another day. But more importantly, we want the other data. Okay? So I'm on COM 3. It's working. Write data complete. Perfect. All right. Copying data to the radio. Please wait. Do not power off. Booting. Please wait. Okay, the splash screen comes up. This is what you should see. And we're going to go up here to zone. Oops, let's see, menu, KCI zone, select, switch to zone. Okay, let's see, I want to go into, okay, there we are, KCI. Okay, let me just share with you what happened here. And then I'm going to, real quick, I don't like the fact that this display goes off every time. I need it on all the time. So I'm going to go down here, this little bonus content. I'm going to change my settings, my radio set. And this thing's called the light time. Right now it's set for 5 seconds. This thing goes off. I want this thing to just stay on. That way I don't have to deal with that anymore. Okay, so that's little bonus content, show you how to do that. Okay, and now I'm going to go back here. Okay, I got the KCI zone. You can see my refrequency, and I'm going to change the channel, 2, 3, they're all the same. Okay, now you can tell why am I not seeing any kind of channel names here? All right, I'm going to jump back into CPS and change that real quick because this is key, because I don't know what they are. I don't have that, all that intelligence I just gave you, we're not able to see. So what we want to do is we want to go over here to optional settings on our CPS. And we want to go to power on, okay, and default startup channel, okay, we want startup, okay, KCI zone is a channel, okay, we want that, okay, and then we want that, okay, let's see, display, okay, this is where you change the name of we want to change some of this stuff so that we can see what's going on. Okay, there's where it says 5 seconds. I want to change that to always, because if I write this again, I'm going to mess that up and it's going to go back to it. So that's where you change. This is where you can change some of the way the radio works and it'll be permanent, okay? Because every time you read and write, let's say you make a change on the radio and then you read it, or I'm sorry, you write over it, and then you got to go back to where you were, and it just becomes kind of confusing. So that's going to be always, and I want to make sure I give you the actual channel. Okay, so let's just write this in. Let's rewrite that. See if that does it. There, I tell you, this radio, this 878, it's a, I mean, I've been in radio for over 25 years, and you know, for the money, this radio, it's got a lot of stuff. I mean, it's a decent radio. It's one of the best ones out there. So I just rewrote it, and it's got a lot of things that's going to keep you, you know, enthused with, you know, how to get this thing customized for you. Okay, so I didn't change that. Okay, so I'm going, see where it says channel. Okay, there's the disconnect. Whoops. The pair. Okay, that's what I want. There's the channel name. There's the North America. Okay, so it's going to the zone, and then it reverts and shows you the actual talk group. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So that's the disconnect. Number 2 is the zone. That's the parrot. And this is, every time I hit the volume knob, it, okay, and then there's the North America. Okay, good. And it's staying lit up all the time, which is what I want to. Okay, so I'm on channel 2, which is, as we saw, is the parrot. So I'm going to remove this programming cable, and keep in mind, if you don't remove the programming cable, you won't be able to hear anything. The audio won't come out the speaker. So this repeater is located north of me, and what I'm going to do is there's a window over here, and because of I've done this before, I'm having a higher probability of getting into this repeater. And keep in mind, if you don't get into the repeater right away, I would suggest just moving someplace out. Go outside. Just make sure you're not dealing with an obstruction. So we're going to go over here to this window, and I'm going to just see if I can hit the parrot. KC0QVT. Okay. Let's try it again. KC0QVT.
KC0QVT.
Okay. Why it didn't do it the first time, I don't know. But you heard it. I got into the repeater, which is cool. So that means all that stuff that I just showed you, it works. So let me do it one more time. I'm transmitting at high power, which is about 5 watts. Okay, the repeater is probably somewhere on the order of maybe 10 miles away, and I'm hitting it right here in Smithville, Missouri. KC0QVT.
KC0QVT.
Cool. Okay, so I know I hit the repeater. Now let's try and see if, okay, I'm going to come over, well, rather than burden the camera, I'm going to change the talk group here to Missouri, okay, which I know is channel 3, okay. So I'm going to, by way of demonstration and to educate, I'm going to key into the this repeater and bring up Missouri statewide. This is KC0QVT monitoring Missouri statewide. Anybody copy my QSO? Now, hopefully somebody is listening. If not, we can try North America. Now, this is the challenge you're going to have when you try these various talk groups. I mean, we're hoping we're going where the fish are biting. So if you don't find anybody on your statewide talk group, you can go to another one. Okay, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. Okay, I'm going to try one more time. KC0QVT, anybody copy? Okay, nobody's home, which is not surprising. I mean, it's chances of somebody being on there. I mean, you've got to have people monitoring that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to the disconnect, which is channel 1, and I'm going to free up the repeater. Okay, and all you have to do is just basically PTT, and it should say disconnect. I think it will come back and tell me. Should tell you. Hang on, let's try it again. It's a private.
Not linked.
Not linked. Let me real quick. Let me just make sure I didn't. Okay. Okay, you heard that said not linked. That means I freed up the repeater. Okay, so now let's try North America. Now there's a high chance of talking to somebody on this one. KC0QVT, monitoring North America. Anybody copy for radio check? Well, I want you guys to hear this. KC0QVT, monitoring North America. Anybody copy for radio check? Over. Okay. Okay. I can put another talk group in here that I know will probably light it up. I just didn't want to. It's called Worldwide. It's a talk group that's pretty busy. We got time. I can put that in. Let's just add one more talk group, guys. Let's add one more talk group. And if somebody chimes in, it'll unmute. But let me show you how to quickly add a talk group. We'll go out here and we'll go all the way to the top. And worldwide is 91. Okay, and I will use the resource. So we'll go ahead here to talk group 5. We'll put in worldwide. It's a group call, talk group 91. Whoops, 91. Okay, we're going to create a channel. We'll cut and paste. We'll copy. We'll paste. We're going to add a channel here, KCIWW. Okay, change the there to worldwide. Time slot 1. Everything's the same. Okay, and then we're going to add it to the zone. Just going back through the steps. So I got this KCI zone, and we're going to go into there and click OK. Hook up my programming cable. All right, let's program it up. Right to radio. We're going fishing. All right, welcome any tone. Everything's all good. Okay, and I am going to, well, let's do the disconnect first real quick. I think this is disconnect. Channel 1. Yep. Okay, that should be good. It should disconnect. Okay. It did. Over here is not, I don't get good reception. Okay, there's channel 5. That's what I just added. Okay. So I'm going to go over here and key up on worldwide. Now, let's just do the parrot real quick again. KC0QVT.
KC0QVT.
Okay. Kind of digital there. Okay. So we're on channel 5. Okay, this is the worldwide. KC0QVT monitoring worldwide. KC0QVT monitoring worldwide. Anybody copy? I don't know if they block worldwide or not. It's a pretty busy repeater, or pretty busy talk group. Okay, it's almost 1 hour. I'm not getting anybody. Okay, well, in the interest of time, this is the steps that I showed you, and I'm sorry I'm not getting anybody to come back to me, which is frustrating, and I'm not certain why, but I'm pretty confident I got into the repeater with the parrot, so I know for a fact that I hit the repeater, and I'm actually going out on the network. There is ways, when this happens, you're kind of like, well, what's going on? Why am I not, you know, what's happening? Nobody's responding. Okay, well, I know I got to the repeater, so what do you do in this case? I mean, I'm kind of confused. I thought, you know, I'd hear somebody. So what you can do, which is an interesting tool here, is you can go to the Brandmeister dashboard here, and you can look at what's called the last heard. Okay, and this is just going to barrage you with all the activity that's happening on the network. Okay, and you can see if you're getting out. And yeah, I'm sorry. I want to make sure you guys see that. You can go out to we want to be on Missouri. Let's try. Okay, so you can see here all this activity that's taken place on Brandmeister, you know, in a last period of time. And okay, and it's busy, so it may, I don't know, clog up your repeater or your computer rather. Okay. Yeah, let's see. So somebody there's keying up with, let's just see if it sees it. So what I can do is I can actually search here, and I'll actually look for my call sign. Oh, I want to go down here to search. Yeah, it's a pretty active website, so it might not respond. Yeah, it's still loading up stuff. That's the risk you run with this kind of thing. Okay, so we're going to wait. It's just constantly you got to have good Ethernet, good fast computer to catch all this stuff, and eventually it happens. So we're going to try to. Hopefully that'll come in. It might take a bit of time. Yeah, it's. You got that. Try 31515, Ralph. Okay, I can do that. Let's see what 31. I can try to talk to somebody. Let's see. Let me look that up. 31. Yeah. Okay. Ralph Schultz says try 31515. I'm listening. He's November 6 Golf, Victor Golf. Let's do it. Why not? If you guys want to hang around, I'll throw in. I'll throw this in and see if we can talk to Ralph. Oops. Oh, push. Yeah, I'm really glad to see that. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to copy. Well, let's add him as a talk group. Okay, so we want to. Let's see. What is he called? He's Tidewater, Virginia. So let's do that. Tidewater, VA. Where am I? Is that all the room I got? I thought I had more. Okay, that's a group call, and he's 31. What is he? 31515. 31515. Okay, let's do that. All right, 31515. Okay. So we want to create a channel over here. Okay, so this is KCI, let's just call it Tidewater. And North America. It's a group call. Color code 4, time 1. Okay, we should be good to go. So I'm going to add him as channel 6. All right, so I'm going to write this to the radio. Okay, so it's, let's see if November 6th, Golf Victor Golf is on the air. Okay, so here, let me just, well, you already moved over there. Okay, channel 6. Let me hit the disconnect. All right, I just disconnected. Should tell me.
Not linked.
Not linked. All right, so I freed up the repeater. Now I'm going to go over here to channel 6. You know what? I just I made the Cardinals committed the cardinal sin here. I forgot to add this channel to the zone because I'm in a hurry. And without that, you do not see that channel. So major mistake. So if you do that, you just saw me make a rookie mistake. All right. Why is that? I don't know what that other. There's a bug in this code. I don't know about this. That zone 2 shouldn't be in there. I don't know. I deleted everything. So anyway, let's put that. We have to add Tidewater to the deal. And I don't know. That's left over from a while back. There might be an issue with their software. Okay, so I've added the zone, or added the channel to the zone. Yep. So don't forget the zone. That's right, Ralph. Forgot the zone. All right. Okay. Because I couldn't see channel 6 on my radio. All right. Let's see if we can hit Ralph here real quick. Going over here to the window. KC0QVT monitoring Tidewater, Virginia. You copy, Ralph? And why am I not unmuting? He's talking. Why is it not unmuting? Okay, I don't know. Okay, let's. I'm going to put it on digital monitor. Sorry about that. There we go. All right. Okay, let me try that again. Channel 6, KC0QVT. You copy, Ralph?
This is November 6th, Golf Victor Golf. Copy you loud and clear on N6 GVG. That's you.
Okay. Okay, here's what okay, let me go over here. Yep. Okay, stand by, Ralph. Copy you loud and clear, and I want to speak to the group about what just happened there. This is KC0QVT, stand by. Okay, here, I'm going to show you here, can you kick over to the, okay, what's interesting, and here's what's going on, and I am kind of puzzled here. What happened, okay, and what I did was not to get you too terribly involved, I turned on what's called digital monitoring. I saw that there was activity by looking at my signal strength indicator. I saw that there was activity, okay, and I knew there was activity. Then I could see that he tried to get back to me, and so what I noticed, you get this intelligence underneath the radio, and it was coming back on time slot 2, and which is puzzling to me because I'm on slot 1, and the only way I know this is because I had digital monitoring on, okay, and I'm not going to get into the details on that, but basically it's a way you can see up here in the upper left corner. You're going to see your antenna, your power indicator, which is high power, and then you're going to see this red speaker with 2 bars. And I turned on double time slot monitoring. Okay, so I'm gonna just real quick try to see if I can show you this. I don't know if I can get in this location in the room, but I'm gonna see if I can hit Ralph again so that you can see this intelligence come up below the screen. KC0QVT. Ralph, you copy? Okay. I may not be able to show this to you. But anyway, it was saying time slot 2, so that's why I wasn't hearing anything, because I'm on time slot 1 and I have no idea why that repeater is responding to me on time slot 2. It might be that I don't know if it's got some kind of rerouting, but I'm going to come over here and I'll finish up my QSO with Ralph. This KC0QVT monitoring Tidewater, Virginia. How you doing, Ralph?
I'm having fun watching this, Ron. N6GVG.
N6G. Well, I'll make sure I get you a QSL card, my friend. I do appreciate you attending and monitoring this. As you can see, it's got its challenges, and you know, we're all live and we're just having a great time here, just doing DMR and having fun with amateur radio. Hey, I appreciate the QSO. I'm going to get back to it, and I do appreciate the comeback. Thank you so much, my friend. See if he responds. Here we go. I didn't catch that, Ralph. What'd you say?
Seven trees, a good one.
Yeah.
You do one.
With the signal strength, you know, on the side of this wall. But anyway, I'm going to wrap up this this live stream. So anyway, you've got something that you can do to say, hey, what's going on? I see this repeater. It looks like I'm seeing signal, but it's not, my radio's not unmuting. And so you can turn on that digital monitoring. And so my suggestion would be, like, as far as homework, well, what is digital monitoring? So digital monitoring allows for you to monitor all the traffic on your repeater. And so you're not dealing with specific talk group numbers. Anyway, if you guys still have time, I know we're running an hour and 15 minutes. I do appreciate you being here. I think it's great that you're willing to spend your time with me. I know your time's valuable. I'm willing to ask some questions, but, you know, or answer some questions. And you can see that, you know, this is the key. Work around. You know, if you have a problem, work around it. You know, just keep going. You've got folks willing to help you. We're here to help you. So, anyway, I've got the screen over here, and I can see that there might be some questions. I know you guys have been chiming in. Got some folks from Toronto, New Hampshire, Connecticut. David Torkelson just called you on 93. Okay, I didn't hear that. Stephen Knight, yeah, that's work around the situation, talking to a sure thing, absolutely. Carson, Whiskey Quebec 1. I can't. Scroll that up a little bit more if you could. Oh, India, Whiskey Quebec 1, India, nice. Kilo India 6, Sierra Echo, Sacramento. But anyway, this content is available. Can we listen? VJ asks, can we listen to a local repeater in the same mode? I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. Same mode. You got DMR, you've got analog, so you have to be in agreement with the mode that you're going to want to talk on. So Ron Henry, Kilo Bravo 9, Zulu Bravo, Milwaukee. Oh, VJ's from Michigan, Kilo Echo 8, November Victor David, or Delta.
Stephen Knight earlier just wanted to thank you for helping them understand the jargon and terminology.
Yeah, there's a lot of jargon, a lot of new terminology. You guys are just getting into it. This is what you do. But we did create a code plug from scratch. Okay, And one of the challenges is I'm talking on a repeater that's managed by other people, and sometimes I don't know how they're running their railroad, okay? But I'm trying, okay? You're going to see people on the DMR Mark network. You're going to have folks on the TGIF network. And I want you guys to know this, you know, just as well. I'm on this journey with you as well. So I've I've done engineering, you know, for a lot of years. You're always encountering problems, but you know the key is you don't give up. You don't give up. You just keep trudging through. And I mean, I think that's you know, why we're amateur radio folks. We want to continue to learn. We want to continue to grow. We don't know everything, and you know, we just don't know. Everybody's on this journey at some level. And it's great to see so many people getting into the game. And anyway, we've got a Facebook group page I invite you to join that we have a lot of folks on there willing to answer your questions. I'm on there occasionally. We're adding a couple hundred people a week to that. And we've got a YouTube channel we want to invite you to subscribe to. There's a lot of content we put out there as well. And, you know, there's a lot of information out there. Don't be afraid to do a Google search, you know. But again, this is the start of a lot of your all's journey. You know, you've got these 6 steps, you know, that you need to follow. Got this content, and also this content will be available to you guys. And we're doing this again because there's so many new people getting into the game. But with that, I think I've gone on long enough. I do appreciate you being here. Your time is, you know, we love it. We love that you're willing to spend time with us. With that, I'll say a big 7-3 to everybody, and have a great St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick was the patron saint of engineering. At least that's what I was told when I went to university. So anyway, have a great day. Enjoy your family and friends, and enjoy being on the radio with DMR. And we're going to end this QSO, BridgeCom Systems Headquarters, 7-3.